In Murder Mystery 2, after receiving a bit of fame from solving the murder in the first film, Nick and Audrey have immediately quit their jobs to set up a private detective agency. But it's a struggle financially and on their marriage. So when they get invited to a wedding and embroiled in another murder mystery, maybe this is the chance to save their business and their relationship. The murder mystery genre is one of the hardest to do right because there's so many moving pieces to keep track of and conventions you have to stick to, but you've got to deliver something different. And the answer from this murder mystery series is to make it into an Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston movie. And to their credit, they do succeed in making it feel different. I quite like the idea of a couple solving mysteries together. They're amateurs, they bicker, I like how it helps lighten the tone. It never reaches the full potential of what's possible with that pairing. It feels like a Hollywood couple rather than a real relationship, but it's a sort of heightened film, so it can get away with it. Ultimately, Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston have just been lifted out of a rom-com and placed into a murder mystery, and honestly, that's enough to keep this movie chugging along. These two have been stars for over 30 years, there's a reason they've stuck around this long, and they're a very watchable couple. But they also facilitate one of the movie's biggest problems. This film doesn't want to be a murder mystery. It starts out normally, we've got our detectives, there's a murder, and a whole host of suspects. But rather than strictly follow the classic one-room murder mystery, this film wants to be an action-adventure romp as well. And look, I'm not against that, I love it when movies bend genre, and I sort of enjoyed those parts of it in this. There's a van chase fight sequence that was genuinely pretty damn well done, and it had some really great physical gags, but it all comes at the cost of an actually effective murder mystery. I like Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, but good murder mysteries ultimately understand the importance of the ensemble. That's what sells the idea it could be anyone. But the action sequences can't include all these extra characters, it'd be too much to juggle, so they just get abandoned. Suspects should be main characters, but in this they're just extras to the adventures of Nick and Audrey. They exist in this movie to be suspicious and have motives, but they never really feel like actual characters or people because it just doesn't spend the time on them. The film is literally called Murder Mystery, but large swaths of it feel secondary to the action comedy part of it. The entire second act of this movie just switches genre. Like, it would be great if it felt like it was combining the two, but it honestly just abandons the murder mystery part to the point where you actually get to the denouement, the reveal of who actually did the murder. It feels almost like a weird afterthought because the entire middle of the movie focuses so little on figuring out the whodunit. You never led in different directions or spend the time sitting with any of the suspects. On both the Glass Onion and the Knives Out press circuit, director Rian Johnson talked at length about how Alfred Hitchcock didn't like the murder mystery genre. Ultimately, they all revolve around just one shocking twist at the end. And he's right. So the question becomes, how do you deliver on a murder mystery without it being just a vehicle to deliver one twist? And on one hand, this movie avoids that problem with the genre by having all the action movie stuff. But then at the end, fumbles the one thing that's essential to the genre. Again, I'm not against doing something different with these kind of movies, but if you're literally going to call your movie murder mystery, you'd at least hope for a decent murder mystery. The rest of it ends up being really forgettable. It's honestly hard to review these kinds of movies because so much of it is just so bland that there's very little to say. It manages to get away with a lot because it's entertaining enough scene to scene, but it's honestly more amusing than it is actually funny. This genre is supposed to have your audience more engaged than usual. There's always a layer of doubt about what someone's saying because the entire construct of the genre means you can't trust anyone. Paying attention is something this genre typically rewards, and yet somehow this film ends up being just the perfect background movie. You can just have it on and not worry too much about missing anything. I love this genre, but I got very little out of Murder Mystery 2. I'd give it a 4.